Good morning, it is Saturday, May 29th, Memorial Day weekend. You probably would not guess that with the clothes I'm wearing. It is like 49 degrees out here right now. Thought I'd make a little quick trip up here to the lake, see what I can get on. Be one of the last trips before we go to New York. Nice and cloudy here. Hopefully I get on a topwater bite this morning. They are running a lot of current too, so I'm gonna eventually work my way out towards the main lake, start throwing some shaky heads, big jigs. Deep diving crankbait, see if any of that bites on right now. It's been a minute since I've been here. Water temp looks like it's about 68 degrees. So we'll see what's happening. Maybe I can avoid the rush today. The crowd is only supposed to be 60 degrees, so maybe that'll keep some of the pleasure boaters off the lake, but I don't know, I doubt it. They're usually pretty wound up this time of the year. So stay tuned and we'll see how many fish I can get on. First little guy of the morning short struck me right at the boat. Not a terrible one, a little keeper. Saw him up on the bank, just pitched a Senko to him, and he ate it. Been seeing a couple smaller ones up on the banks, haven't seen anything decent. Tails are torn up a little bit here, but I'll keep trying this for a little while and then eventually I'll go out to some deeper water. I forgot to put my camera up, but here's the first one on a main lake point on a jig out of a brush pile, about 15 foot deep. We'll see if there's some more down there that are a little bit bigger. Another little fella up here on the same point. Sooner or later I'll find some big ones. Buddy. Another little guy inside the main lake point. That's a spot. No wonder. You probably hit this thing 6 times. Little guy. Redeemed myself. Here's another one, a little bit nicer, behind a dock again. Of course, didn't have my camera going again. I 2 fish now that I've taken down for 5 seconds to move. I forget to put it back up. I was throwing a Zoom brush hog here. Chartreuse on the tail, just green pumpkin, and I kept getting bites and missing them. I missed probably 6 fish with that. And one of them felt like it was a real nice one. I have a brush pile on the edge of a dock. So I went ahead and switched to a Senko, just Texas rigging a Senko here. And this was second dock with it and caught that fish. So I'm gonna try this, see if I get a little better hookup ratio. It's just a little bit of chartreuse on the tip there. So we'll keep going and see. It seems to kind of be the best little pattern for now. I have not ventured out to the main lake to see if it's fishable, how many people are out there. I hear a lot more boats. I can kind of see some boats going by, so I don't really know if I want to fight the main lake point. Try that with all the boats or just keep going back here, having fun. I know they're not the biggest fish, but they're still fun to catch. fins are all red on the side from scraping up in the beds. The tails, tip of the tail's all red. I'd say these fish are probably spawning. This was caught in 3 foot of water or less. So yeah, it's a nice one. Not too bad. Another little guy behind the dock, still fun. Almost didn't get him, and then I hit the constant on my trolling motor somehow, the button that's about impossible to hit when you want to hit it, and about slammed into a jet ski lift. A lot was going on there for a minute, but I got it. Seems like you can catch about as many of these as you want around dock. Still didn't get really anything over 3 pounds today. Hey guys, it is Memorial Day here, so we cannot forget those who served and lost their life defending our country and letting us do the things we like to do, fishing, enjoying the outdoors and things like that. So definitely take some time to remember that today. As far as the fishing goes this weekend, or Saturday I went, you could see I pretty much fished mostly behind the docks. I think there's still a lot of fish that are spawning, but then there are also some fish who I think are done and have moved off. But I was primarily just flipping either a Zoom brush hog or a Senko behind the docks. The brush hog was getting a lot of bites, but I wasn't getting the fish hooked up. I couldn't keep them hooked up. I don't know what the deal was. I changed hooks, went to an extra wide gap and even a bigger hook. But the fish really weren't biting it that hard. They were just kind of picking it up and moving it. And I think I wasn't getting a very good hook set on them because there really wasn't much of a bite. You just had to watch your line and go from there. So I switched to just a Senko and I started at least catching the fish. But I had a few nice fish that I hit, got the hook set on them a little bit and got them turned my way, but then they would come off. And I wasn't able to get some of those back. So I ultimately just kept moving on. I did go out to the main lake a little bit before it got real crazy. Did a little bit of graphing, threw a deep diving crankbait, football jig, and moved that around. I did think I found a school of bass, but I couldn't really get any of them to bite. I probably should have threw a swim bait on them. The fish were kind of a little bit more suspended off the bottom, but I just didn't. I messed around out there for 20 minutes or so, and then I kind of went back to the coves and just was doing what I was doing. So I think probably some of the bigger fish are moved onto secondary points, things like that, outside of the spawn pockets, things like that. But I was ultimately just having fun going through catching fish, flipping behind docks. It's something I like to do, and ultimately I think you only get a little window of the year where they really are up behind the docks, and it's a lot of fun to catch them. So I kind of went with that and was just having a lot of fun. So our next trip is going to be up in New York with Ryan and I, and that's going to be here in 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. We'll have plenty of smallmouth footage. We've got the flogger ready to go. Should be catching a bunch of smallies off beds, both in the river and hopefully on Lake Ontario. And hopefully we can both catch at least a 6-pounder. We got a 6-pounder last year. This year our goal is to catch one of each, so we can each have one. And hopefully we just catch a lot of big fish, and we'll definitely have some videos from that. We might even mess around with having the GoPro on live stream through YouTube or on Facebook or something and see how that goes. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching, guys.